Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, my channel is all about loving my collection as it currently is, being critical of new makeup releases, and being critical and being thoughtful about what we are bringing into our makeup collections when we are deciding to make a makeup purchase. Today, we're definitely going to be following the lines of loving our collection as it is. We're going to be using a lot of stuff that is already in my collection, has been in my collection for a long time. We'd love to see it. I am going to be playing with some new items today and testing things out, and it's a makeup playtime. And to me, that means we're not shooting for a look. We're testing some things. We are playing with some formulas. So one eye might look different than the other eye. One side of my face might have different products than the other side of my face. We are just truly testing things out, playing with them, like literally playing with the makeup and looking at it with a critical eye. That's what makeup playtime is to me. So if this kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe, and please remember to like this video. Do that right now. You can do that right now before the video is even over. I'm just saying, you can go ahead and do that. And I'm also on Patreon if you would like to support me there. Okay, full disclosure, I'm using some new software today, and it's wigging me out, but I think it's gonna work, and I think it's gonna work better for me. So we will see. This was a repurchase, so I did not include this on my budget. So if you're following my budget career, this is not going to be on the budget. This is like a repurchase. This is the Mario Badescu. Well, the first time I bought it, I bought the regular lip balm, but this is the mint lip balm, and I actually have been enjoying the lip one better than the regular. I was just on my Patreon video that I just put up. If you're a patron, go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. I have never done lip prep before, but now I've been really enjoying it because, want to know why? Want to know how I realized I probably should have been doing it the whole time? Is people often talk about being able to blend out a lip liner, and I have never been able to do it because my lips are so dry and crusty. We're learning. We are living, we're laughing, we're learning, and we are loving. So, okay, so there's a couple of things that I want to play with today. Some new things. We'll do some testing, some test running. So if you are watching all of my videos, you're going to likely hear some of these things again. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of these things again. But I have never had this be incorporated into my regular content. But last year I did a project during December where I tried to use all of my makeup in 31 days to see if I could. And then also to get to know my collection a little bit better. And I asked if people would like these kinds of videos moving forward, so we can always look at our makeup again. It's there. That's what we're there for. So the first thing I'm going to be testing today is the Intensifies from Pat McGrath. Now I have played with it a few times, but what we're going to do today is we're going to do one eye, no intensifies, the other eye with intensifies, and I think we're going to just use actually a Pat McGrath palette. And then another thing, this is new to my collection, so it's not permanently in my collection yet. I'm trying to decide whether or not it's worthwhile. And there was going to be a whole video on this where we're going to do a versus a bunch of other things. And another thing I recently brought in that I'm pretty sure is going to remain in my collection, and that's at the detriment of another product in my collection, is the Chanel, what the hell is this called? Le Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. And I have $3.95 Soleil Tan Deep Bronze. So we will also be playing with that. But that's going to go up against another product, which we've never done before. So exciting things are happening here, people. If you are new here, an exciting time to come to the hautemesstom channel. I'm going to put that up against Butter Biscuit. The thing is, they're very different shades. So Butter Biscuit is this. The Chanel one is this shade. Now let me hold them up at the same time. Very different, but they're different formulas, but I don't think they're incredibly different. But we'll look at that in a second. I also have I have a highlighter I want to continue to play with today. It is from Phytosurgence, which is an independent Canadian brand owned by an LGBTQ Asian person. So this is a little bit more storied, but we'll talk about it when we get to it. And then I just have some other things that I want to explore and touch and feel. So I'm just gonna pull some more things out. So I have everything I want to play with. Today on the eyes, we're gonna be playing with the Mothership 8 Divine Rose 2. And I think I want to use the Sextra Terrestrial shade with the Intensifies on one eye and not the other. And so basically what I'm going to do is take the matte shades and kind of put them all over my lid and then just put this on the lid. Because I'm this is not like, I'm not trying to make the most intense, like crazy cuckoo eye look. I just am just comparing, and we can do that together. And if you're curious if I'm going to be doing like other comparisons, like I'm going to do it against the NYX glitter primer and then my other regular eye primers, so, and the Mehron mixing medium. So those are all things I will be comparing it to in the future. Just today will be the first time I'm doing a side-by-side, and you're very likely going to see this footage in the final video for the Intensifies. So what's tripping me up is I record my footage directly to my computer. A lot of people will record to a memory card, upload that stuff to the computer. That's just like not how I do it. So I was using a program that didn't lag whenever it was filming, and this is lagging and it looks like it's losing frames. But I've done some testing with it to make sure that that's not what's happening whenever I get the final result. However, it was nervous making. Let's just start. I'm gonna prime my eyes with the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. And I will set that with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. So I lost some frames, I guess. I don't really know what happened there. So that's the first, I'm editing now, and that's the first time I've encountered it. So we will see if it happens again, but didn't love that. So I saw that. It's actually like the middle of a day. It's the middle of a Wednesday. Work was slow, and I was just like, I texted I asked my boss, I was like, can I just use PTO and just like be done for today? And they said that was okay. And I said, bye-bye. So it's like a casual middle of the day affair that we're having here. And I thought that we could spend some time together, love up on each other, have a good time on this Wednesday. How are your 2021s going? It's a mixed bag, isn't it? If you're a patron of mine, you know how mine's been going. But I'm very curious how everyone else's is. Like, this is such a weird time of year, especially going into what will be the third calendar year of COVID, because we had 2020, 2021, and now it's 2022. So we're like, in March we'll have completed 2 years, and now we're adding to get to the third. And it's like, we're all right, like... The frustrating part is, like, we're already kind of seeing, like, history repeat itself. We all knew that the numbers were going to spike after Christmas because we knew people were going to go see families and make decisions that maybe aren't the best for, like, the greater good. And, you know, I'm not judging anyone who did. Like, you know, I was not a perfect person. I saw my family. Like, we didn't do a big gathering, but we did all hang out, and not claiming to be a perfect person. But, like, it's like we're seeing the numbers spike, and it's like, duh. Like, of course. It is truly just a little, it's a little just disheartening, I guess. Just like that, just, you know, God, I'm trying not to get like, I'm trying not to feel political, but it's like, it's like, there's like no other way to approach this anymore, right? Where it's just like, we can see these institutions that are supposed to take care of us deciding that money is more important than humanity. And that is just devastating to me as just a human. The numbers are higher than ever. It's just, you know, okay, I'm gonna get off of COVID talk. Gonna get off of COVID talk. An interesting thing happened. I had to block someone from being able to view my channel. They didn't do anything like terrible, and I'm not putting this person on blast. The comment doesn't exist. I did screenshot it because it brought me quite the tee-hee-hee. Somebody left like what I'm about to say, if you are a religious person, I love that for you, and I love that that's what you believe in, and I'm not trying to discredit your beliefs or anything like that, but like, I'm not a religious person, and nothing makes me feel more unaligned from religion than when a religious person tells me that if I like go into religion, that I will be saved. And it's like, clearly you're telling me these things because I'm visibly queer. And then in my last video, which I'm doing now in every video, is I put my pronouns at the top of the video. I'm taking the darker of the two mattes and just putting it all over the lid. Anyway, they commented that, like, should I choose to find Jesus and whatever, that I would be saved or whatever. And it wasn't, I'm gonna give this person credit because it wasn't like malicious. It wasn't, and I understand that this person's intent was that they're trying to help me. However, I did have to add some words to my block list, like that will hold comments immediately. So that was interesting. And again, it's not like, nothing was like, there was no vitriol between me and this person. I did not comment back. I just removed them. And I was like, okay. It's interesting to me because I'm not a person with a big platform, so I don't know how this person like found me, or if maybe they were subscribed to me, but that comment felt inappropriate to me because I wasn't talking about religion, and I felt like I wasn't saying anything blasphemous. I'm like talking about makeup. I was talking about new makeup releases, so it was weird to me. Again, I don't have anything against religion. It's like, I just am not a religious person, and so like, I don't know, I would never go on someone else's page and be like, if you try gay, it's the way, you know? Like, it's not what I'm doing. Here's the deal. My right eye, this eye, I'm gonna put the intensifies on, and then on this eye, I will just be using my finger to apply. So, I've been playing with this for a little bit of time, and if you're not familiar, it's from Pat McGrath. It is essentially her own mixing medium that you apply directly to the eyelid. And what I've learned is like it like lifts shadow a little bit, but it doesn't lift it bad enough that like it's like noticeable, because there is obviously a little bit of grip to it, because it's almost, I don't think it's supposed to take the place of like a glitter glue. Like, I don't know if we would be able to put glitter on this and it would stick, but it's definitely like tacky, but it's like not as tacky as glitter glue. But I'm taking the shade Extraterrestrial, which is the multi-chrome, and I'm just gonna put it on top of Intensifies. I'm gonna blend it out a little bit before I do the other eye because I'll be bothered. And so I'm gonna do both eyes, and then I'll come at you with some initial thoughts, because this is makeup playtime, and I need you to remember that. Like, none of these things are my final thoughts. None of these things are, I'm not making any recommendations during this video. I am simply playing with makeup. And if you see something that you feel so inspired by, it will be linked down below. And I do have some affiliate links down below. So like, those are all, I'm gonna tell you that up front. Like, should you be interested, it's there. I'm getting my thoughts and feelings on this product in particular. So don't take this as a review. Don't take this as my final thoughts. I'm still playing with this. That's what makeup playtime is for. I'm gonna zoom you in after I have done the other eye, and then we'll take a closer look at them together. All right, so now I'm just gonna take my ring finger and apply directly to this eye. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you in. Intensifies, no intensifies. I'm gonna shift my body around just a little bit so you can see. This is definitely much less intense than this one. So I've used it with a multi-chrome before, and what I've noticed is that it makes the multi-dimensional, like you can see all of the chrome, right? Sometimes when you put on with a glitter glue or just but your finger, as I just showed you, it's like, I don't think you can see the shift. This is the same shade of eyeshadow, and you can see the green, you can see all of the bits of it with this application method. Now, you know, I'm still playing with this, right? I'm gonna, just to even things out, even though I know the rest of my face is gonna be really imbalanced, for the sake of just doing it, I'm gonna put the intensifies on top of it. So I did use like a product that has like more intense glitter particles on top of the intensifies, and I feel like it flattens out a glitter just a little bit. It's still super shiny, but you lose texture, which is like interesting. Still very much playing with this product. I have been very much enjoying playing with it. I mean, it's better, but I feel like because this one was like directly onto the mattes, and maybe I was more generous with my application, that could have been it. So I'm going to take this and just put it all over both lids just for fun, because it's like basically a glitter that's suspended in some kind of gel, and it gives you a nice, really wet look. If you're familiar with the work of Hannah Louise Poston, this is like the kinds of shades that she's really into. Think Kava and Sparks from the Gold palette. And she's the one who got me like really into using these. So, I mean, now you can't see the multi-chrome at all, but I mean, you kind of can, especially on the eye that got the better application. So, interesting stuff. My friend gave me tape to make my eyeliner straighter, and I'm not gonna lie, I took it as an insult, but now I have tape. So he's a drag performer. His name's David. I'm hoping to have him on my channel. I'm hoping when COVID, I don't know that we're ever gonna like live in post-COVID. Doesn't feel like a thing. But when we're in summertime and like the numbers are down, because you know history was gonna repeat itself, and we know this. I would like to have David on my channel and some other local drag performers, and kind of like we'll kind of just do our makeup together and talk about being a drag performer, our experiences with makeup and like what we like. So like that's and my plan is to like, whenever I'm doing this, is like before they come, I'm going to ask them what kind of look they're going to do, and they're going to do the drag version, and I'm going to try to make like not every day, but like the more wearable, approachable version of their look. Sorry, I'm just like taking in this eye. This eye in particular is like that's really it. Damn. The next couple items are things that I'm just trying to get through. I'm not doing project panning on my channel. That's like not a thing that I'm going to be doing. So don't be on the lookout for that kind of content. However, I'm trying to get through some things. Basically, my plan is in my monthly budget videos I'm going to be using the Surratt Perfectioniste primer. This is a sample I have. I don't like this primer, but I don't have that much of it left. So I am just trying to use it up. It's not the worst, but it's also 95 doll hairs for the full thing, and I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I like luxury, and I'm willing to pay for, like, luxury if I feel like the formula is worth it. This is not a formula that I think you should be spending money on. But I've been playing with that for a while, so you can take that as a real recommendation as to avoid. But if you do use the Surratt primer, tell me why you like it so much, and tell me your experience. How did you land there? How did you get to that? Would really love to hear that feedback. Okay, so this is another thing. This is the Pat McGrath Labs foundation, and this, I did a full review on this if you're interested in hearing my detailed thoughts. I like it. I'm not going to rebuy it, and so I'm just trying to use it up. It's an older, I bought it like when it launched, so I'm just kind of using this until it's gone. It's just kind of sits on my vanity. I used to okay, well, there's a lot of, I just brought up like a real big can of worms that like is not a can of worms for anyone but me, but like, I have been a part of a couple of podcasts, and one of my podcasts was called It Bears Repeating. I'm using past tense because I think that we are officially calling it on It Bears Repeating. This is not the official call, but it's kind of the discussion is being had. So if you listened to It Bears Repeating, obviously you know that we haven't released an episode in a really long time, and we kind of shifted our focus to our other podcast, Recollect. Anyway, so It Bears Repeating used to be a RuPaul's Drag Race recap show. It's called It Bears Repeating, and there's a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race recap shows. So if you are someone who's into the show and you wondered if there were podcasts, oh boy, there are. A lot, whenever I was doing it, all the show, like, we all kind of talked, so, like, all of them are very lovely. I only have, like, the best things to say about all the people who are currently RuPaul's Drag Race podcasters. Also, this is looking too late for me because I have been using self-tanner on just my face, and you can tell that it's just my face because my hand is still so pasty. Covering RuPaul's Drag Race really killed the experience of watching the show for me, and I, like, really don't enjoy watching it. And I also, controversially, but not really, like, I think the people who really know, but, like, I'm not a big fan of RuPaul. I think RuPaul has done a lot of opening doors for the gay community in entertainment, so I'm not, like, dismissing that at all. Like, don't get that twisted, but I think RuPaul runs his mouth and says some very hurtful things and decides that because he is who he is. He doesn't have to apologize for it because he's done such great things for people and visibility. And like, again, don't disagree that like RuPaul has made a lot of like, brought a lot of light to the queer community and like especially the gay community. However, I don't trust RuPaul, and so like watching his show is like tough for me. Anyway, that ought to be said. I have a positive thing to say is on TikTok, I was just scrolling through and Cornbread, who is a contestant on the current season, I think they're on season 14. I guess they're doing a talent show, which is pretty common for All-Star season. I don't know that they might have done it for a regular season, but that would have been like post me really watching the show. This foundation like looks incredibly wrong for me. Anyway, I'm gonna throw on concealer too. I will be using the Touche Clot All Over Brightening Pen from YSL. Cornbread's performance popped up on my TikTok, and I think they did, the talent show performances are a minute long. I have watched it so many times. It has brought me immense, I cannot emphasize this enough, immense joy. And the one part of the wrap, it's like cut crease on tilt that's angular. And I mean, I'm not saying it to anyone, but I am saying it. I'm like, cut crease on tilt that's angular. And I've been just like living my best life with that one line. The whole thing is so funny. You just have to go watch. I cannot recommend enough YouTubing Cornbread's talent show. It sparks joy. Sparks immense joy. Let's talk about these bronzers. Let's play with these bronzers. On the right side of my face, I'm going to be putting the Chanel bronzer. And so this is like a new shade, and so this is what it looks like if you've never seen it before. And what I didn't know, or I've never heard anyone really comment, that there is like there are shimmer particles in here. It's like not matte, which I like, which works for me. I'm still playing around with application methods of this, but if you want to look at it on my finger, there's like a finger swatch. I'm going to apply some dots on, and then I'm going to blend it out with a brush. And if you are familiar with my content, you have probably seen me both use the tan palette from Natasha Denona, which I complain about being like deep and intense. Like it's an intense bronzing product. And I also have a Burberry Glow Essentials palette. And I also have complained about the intensity of that. Now this looks really intense, but this, like as I blend it out, it just leaves like the perfect just bronze. And it's not too warm, even though it looks like it's gonna be like very, very warm. It's not really what it does. And so I'm guessing that I can't speak to this because I don't have deeper skin, but like essentially if you have deeper skin, you would do like less blending than me. But again, it can only provide, they need more shades of this. I'm not gonna lie. I was just kind of caught up in a little bit of a Chanel moment. It doesn't look too ruddy. It doesn't look too, it's not too much. Whereas I feel like the one from Burberry, it feels like too much, and the one from Natasha Denona can feel like too much depending on how you use it, because like that's like a whole palette. And so on the left side of my face, we'll be using the Butter Biscuit, and we'll just be looking to see the bronze, how they do. And that's what that one looks like in the pan, and that's what it looks like swatched on the finger. And I'm gonna do the same thing. And so my thought is, by comparing these two in real time, is to figure out which one I would like to keep. Because I don't need another cream bronzer. Like I didn't need that. However, this kind of works in a twofold situation, and I'm not recommending anyone buy products like this, just so you know. But my friend has been looking for a new cream bronzer. She's never bought one. And I thought, well, whichever one I don't end up keeping, she can have. I don't know why I'm so blown out right now. I'm getting natural light, which I normally record when it's dark out. So I'm going to zoom you in. Chanel. Fenty. My skin feels really dry today. I'm not really sure why. I like literally just did my skincare. So I'm going to do a little bit of contouring under here with a contour from Rodial that's been discontinued. But since even though we're not gonna have a balanced look, I just want to do that for me, like for me and my thoughts and my feelings. Cut crease on till that's angular. I'm gonna be using the Tower 28 blush. I have a new cream blush that I've been using, but I didn't want to do like all of my new things because I just put a video up on my Patreon. This is the Tower 28 Power Hour Beach Please blush. Anyway, I wanted to like, the way my budget is working is like I'm explicitly using my Patreon money as part of my budget. So I think it's fairest to give them the exclusive look at everything, and then slowly they'll trickle into my channel in regular use. And also, if you're ever checking my description, if you see something that you haven't seen in my collection before, very likely it's probably something that I bought for the budget. So if you want to be hawk-eyed and like be able to clock things, that's how you can do that. Now for the Phytosurgence Divine Daylight Spectral Shine highlighter. First things first, I don't care for this particular packaging. I find it very difficult to open. I have longer nails, as you can see. Hopefully there's nothing under them, but they're longer. So I don't want to break a nail, but I find that this packaging makes me feel like I'm going to be prone to it. So I have been opening it with one of these. Now maybe once like I get used to it, this is what it looks like, by the way, BT dubs. Once I get used to it, like once I open it more times, maybe over time, it will open easier. But as of right now, I'm not a huge fan of the packaging. I find that it's too difficult to open. And so this is what it looks like. It's a very firm product. Like I have both dug my fingers and brush in here. And so like it doesn't move around. So sometimes like with the Fenty bronzer, when you put your finger in, you can like feel things moving. When you put your finger in the Beach Please blush, you can feel things moving. But like whenever I put my finger on this, like it's hard. It's like, I don't know. It's just hard. So that's a finger swatch. I have been having like issues with this product. I'm obviously still working out how I feel about it. The thing is, I want to like it. I think that's bronzy from the bronzer. I don't think it's that deep because I've never been able to get it to show up that deep. So let me use a different finger. Also, I shut it again like a damn fool. There's that. Let's try that again. Maybe it does have that much tint. I shut it again. Oh my God. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I've been having issues with this. The first time I used it, it lifted my foundation, which I wasn't pleased with. Now, even the brand themselves says there's a bit of a learning curve. I also have a subscriber named Di Stars who also used this product and said that they had a bit of a learning curve with it too. So this is the brush that they sell. This is like their brush. This is from Phytosurgence, and this is the one they recommend to use with this. And I've watched their Instagram, and they say like, go in. They say like, go in. Like, go in. Like, we're going in. And then they say to like, buff it in. So my problem is, I think there's a couple problems. One, well, the last time I used this brush, trying to use this product, it like lifted my foundation in a very severe way. It doesn't seem to be doing that today, but it's like there's like a suggestion of a hint of a glow. And so, but you can definitely, now, I have not been able to get it to look as good as it is here. And they say to intensify to use your finger and tap it into the highest point, which that's normally how I apply a cream blush. So that was like my first inclination when I got it. It is just, I think what's going on now that I've got it to work, but the first time I used it, it lifted my foundation. And it really pissed me off. I'm gonna do it to the other side. It just feels like with the brush, at least, like this brush and the way they like want you to apply it, it just feels like really aggressive to be doing on top of like cream products. I've not powdered my face, so it is truly just like the hintest of hint. So I would say like for a like no makeup day, if you wanted like a little bit of a highlight, like this might be a good product. But so far, as someone who enjoys like wearing makeup, I don't know that this product is for me. I'm still playing around with it. One thing Di said was that like once you like get some texture going in the pan, it picks up a little bit better, and it starts applying a little bit better. I'm looking forward to that. But until then, I'm actually really happy. It's like it's not seemingly not lifting my foundation again this time. That brings me joy, because I can see it a little bit now, and I can see through my rage that I had. Like I had rage. I was like, I hate this product. Again, that's not my final thoughts on this. I'm still playing with it. I'm still playing with this brush too. I'm going to try it with some other highlights I have, cream highlights I have, to see what I'm going to also play with it with some other products, just to see if I can make it a multi-use brush for me, because obviously I'm not going to be using this every day, because it's not really like the finish. It's not really the highlight for me, I'm thinking. Although Di did say that they really liked it in natural light. So I just turned off my lighting from my vanity, which is what I'm using. It's there, but it's like, it's not really there, you know? But I still want to keep using it. I just feel like, you know, this formula is like different than anything I've used before. I really want to figure out the value of it, you know? Even if I don't like it, I always want to see if I can make a product work, you know, work for me. For me and like the way I like my looks to look. I'm going to put on a different highlighter on top. I'm going to use the Chantecaille blurring powder to set my face just a little bit more. Well, at all. I haven't used any powder yet, so I'm just going to powder my under eyes. I'm going to tap Solaris over top of the Phytosurgence highlighter. I think I'm going to hit pan on this soon, and so now it's kind of just like, while I'm not a project panner, it is like now my goal. I just hit pan on another product from Rituel De Fille, so now I know it's possible for me to hit pan on a Rituel De Fille product, and I'm gonna do another one. I know I'm close on this one, and I'm also close on the shade Linares too, which is like a shifty blue. There's just like less opportunity for a shifty blue in like the types of looks that I do. So I will likely hit it on this one first. Well, I hit it on the Alchemist first. The Alchemist is like my favorite product. Why don't we put some of the Alchemist on? Because I love a shiny little moment. So there's the pan. There's that pan. Do you see that? I know there's a lot of shiny stuff in there, but there's also one of the things shining back at you is the pan. So I'm gonna just throw some of this just on top. You can see how like the Phytosurgence is like certainly a step in a different direction for me when it comes to a highlighting product. Is it just like big chunks of glitter on my face? Yeah. But look at it. Ooh! Okay. Love that. Love that. I'm going to spray my face and then come back and we'll talk about a new mascara I've been using. This is not, it's on brand, but it's not, it didn't make this. Like, this was something that I found and bought. Of course, it doesn't say Tom. You know, if I was going to do it, I would have it would say Tom on it too. The Rituel De Fille highlight just really does it. Scratches that itch for me. So I don't feel like putting eyeliner on, but this is the Big Mood mascara from the brand e.l.f. Who are they? Picking up a drugstore mascara. Yes, so Hannah Louise posted, and if you're not familiar with her content, I will link her channel down below. Hannah has been talking a lot about this, and like, never really has like made it the star of any one video, but it's one of those things, like, I would say it's like me with the Chantecaille blurring powder, where it like comes up in all of my videos, and so then like people are like, oh, they really like that product. And so she has mentioned it a couple times. Now, Hannah and I actually have very different preferences when it comes to mascara. She really likes a big, gloopy spider leg. So you might be wondering why I bought this. Well, I figured I only do one coat of mascara. And I was like, if it can give me like length and volume in one coat, then boom, that's it. That's all I need. So I'm just going to apply it to one eye. Like, look, you can just look at, it's incredible. So I've been enjoying this. I haven't given this, so like, again, still formulating my final thoughts on it, but I have been very much enjoying it. I've not worn it for like a lot, like I still have to do like wear tests on a lot of these, and so this is definitely something that I need to do like a longer wear test for, but at least for like videos, it must be nice. It might be nice. It's pretty nice. I'm going to wipe off my lip balm and then we will put on a lip product. I think I just really want to throw on a gloss. Not that I've been like filming forever, but I think for the sake of brevity, I'm going to use an Old Faithful. So this is the Peach Perversion gloss from Pat McGrath. I'm just going to throw that on the lips. No liner, no anything. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see my skin, just to take a look, so you can make your own opinions on things. I do feel like the Pat McGrath foundation looks like really dry today, and that's uncommon for that foundation, but I do think it's the primer. I think the Ciroc primer is like very drying. Just to recap on this eye, this is the eye that we use the intensifies, but I did put glitter on top of the multi-chrome, so, but I do think you can still see the shift underneath that glitter top coat on this eye. And this is the eye I didn't initially put the intensifies on, and I don't think it's as strong. Here's the cheeks. This cheek is the one that has the Butter Biscuit bronzer from Fenty. And then this is the side that has the Chanel bronzer. Obviously, there's a lot on top, of course, but I just want to like reiterate, we have on the lashes, the Big Mood mascara, and the Peach Perversion gloss. I really thought the bronzers were going to look a lot more different. They definitely are different. However, not so different that I'm going to take my dog on a walk after this, and I thought I was going to have to remove my makeup, but I think that we look okay enough. It'd be a nice wear test for the mascara. So in the tradition of the project formerly known as Messmas, let's go through each product, and I just will tell you how I felt about using it today. Because this is makeup playtime, I don't foresee myself making cuts in these videos, but in my monthly budget video, like my budget, I just don't think I could do a whole video on finances. So my budget videos are going to be like kind of multi-purpose videos, and I'm kind of going to treat them as like, we're talking about the budget. We're talking about, I know I could format this and just, it will be what it is, but sometimes airing out my ideas, sometimes you guys will give me feedback, and I like really appreciate that because it also helps me know what you'll want to see. So my idea is that basically, unless the budget will be in the budget video, of course, and then I will be doing mini reviews of each item that I bought that month with my budget. And then at the end of the videos, it'll be what's in and what's out. So I don't, it's just because I bought something doesn't mean it has earned a place in my collection. If it doesn't earn a place in my collection, I will declutter it at the, whenever, before, I will declutter it immediately. It won't make its way into my collection. I don't want my collection to get out of control, even though I am opting to bring things in. So there's already an eyeshadow palette that I've decided that I will be decluttering at the end of the month, but that wasn't something that I used in my budget. So it'll be like, what's in, what's out. So what's out could also be things that have been in my collection for a while. I have my bin of everything in front of me. Firstly, I shit-talked this palette a lot in December, but I enjoyed it again today. I even think that the intensifies really made me like it even more, especially the shade, which I've been meh on for the most part, but I do think it's a gorgeous palette. Really, I'm glad that I kept it. I'm glad that during Messmas, the project formerly known as Messmas, when I used it, I let it happen instead of being I hate this and then just pretending that I hated it. I don't hate this. I actually really enjoy this. So I will never complain about my Chantecaille blurring powder. It's a great product. I really like it. Pat McGrath foundation, I feel just the way I always have. It's looking a little dry today, but I do think that is because of this, which is weird because this goes on lotiony, but it's very thin. I don't know. I just don't think this does anything. I just truly don't think it does anything. I just don't feel like it preps my skin in any kind of way. I'm just finishing it for the sake of finishing it, not because I think it's a beautiful product. Really like the Big Mood mascara from e.l.f. so far. The Peach Perversion gloss is really pretty. It's kind of it's a lip gloss, so I like Pat McGrath's formula. Almost all of my lip glosses in my collection are Pat McGrath. That's just because I found the formula, I liked it, and then I bought a lot of shades, but As I move through my Pat McGrath glosses, I will be bringing in glosses that are not Pat McGrath, just to try more formulas. I really like this Tower 28 blush as well. It's like a thick textured formula. It is not like any other cream blush I've had. I mean, I've had it for a while. Obviously, this was not the first time I've used it. It's like in my collection, in my permanent collection. But like, I really like this shade, especially like once I have stuff on top of it. I also think like once I put the Phytosurgence highlighter over top of it, it really kind of tamed it down. Obviously, you can't see this on my face anymore because you could kind of barely see it when it was the only thing on my face. So, very inconclusive thoughts on this. I really want to find a way to make it work, because I really, when it comes to like an independent brand, especially one owned by someone who's LGBTQIA, especially someone who is Asian, like I don't want to like give a bad review, like a terrible review, right? And I don't think it's every time I use it, it's a better experience than the last time. So that is good. So I'm just hoping that as I continue to play with it and trying to figure out whether or not I like it, that we end up really enjoying each other's company. But as of right now, like if I had to make a decision right now, I wouldn't buy this. Like I don't think I like it. That's where I'm kind of landing. But again, today it was better than it has been. My Rituel De Fille, Solaris, and The Alchemist, like this alien space nonsense, very into this. This is the move. This is the mood. This is the one, okay? Like really always enjoy these. In case you're new here, Rituel De Fille makes my favorite cheek products. So never am I gonna complain. I like the YSL All Over Brightening Pen. It's definitely very specific. There's not a lot of coverage. It is kind of just for brightening. I don't really have problematic under eyes, so this really works for me. Contouring powder, they don't sell anymore. MAC Paint Pot is just an eyeshadow primer. So when it comes to the two bronzers, I am going to keep playing with both of them kind of in tandem. Not like this with like one side of my face versus the other. But I do think when I make my final decision, it's like one staying and the other is going. That's where I'm landing on these. But I think both are, not to shit talk, I really like the formula of this, and I think it's like definitely a much more accessible price point, so I really enjoy this. And I'm not giving it to my friend as like I don't like this. It's just like I found something that I like a little bit more. But you can definitely tell like there's a difference in the bronzers. But there's something about the Chanel one that speaks to me a little bit more as of right now. And then the Intensifies, which is still very inconclusive. I need to play with it with more formulas. But I will say I can kind of definitively say that for multi-chromes, if you wear multi-chromes, this is so far an excellent base for a multi-chrome, because it gives you the full spectrum of the shift without having to like play with lighting. I think that's very worthwhile, because sometimes I'll put a multi-chrome on my eye and I like can't see the shift. But if I swatch it on my arm, because of the amount of surface area I have, I feel like the shift is much more apparent. Otherwise, I'm like playing with where the light is versus where my camera is to really get that shift, and that's annoying. I want to see the multi-chrome right away. So that wraps up makeup playtime. Again, I want to reiterate, do not take anything that happened during today's video as my final thoughts. Don't take anything that happened today as like my final recommendation. Don't take anything to like, it's just everything that happened today was just to play with formulas and textures, and I just really want to re-emphasize that. That's what this is about. This is how I play with my makeup whenever I'm not on camera at nighttime, because that's my favorite time to like, my makeup playtime, if I don't already have makeup on my face, is to at night right before I do my skincare, is like throw some makeup on, play with textures and stuff like that. So that is what we were doing here. It was solely just to play with the makeup so we can all look at it together. You can give me some feedback on what you thought of these items as I'm using them, what you see on camera, because I can only see so much in the viewfinder. Like, and when I'm editing, I see it sometimes, but sometimes you guys catch things that are a little bit different than I do, and I love that. I love seeing that and hearing that. So again, no final thoughts on much of this. Don't be running out to buy something and say that hautemesstom really liked this in the one video, because maybe I did like it today, but what if by the end of the month I say I'm gonna declare this because I figured out that it's not for me? Just don't, okay? Okay? Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, Thank you so much for watching this far. I would love to have you subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, but if you haven't already liked it, make sure you definitely do that. If you really like me, you can check out my Patreon. The first video of January is on Patreon. I do 2 additional videos on my Patreon every month for my patrons. That can ebb and flow. We might see other things come down the pipeline, but as of right now, that's what I'm comfortable doing on my Patreon. You also kind of get to know me a little bit more personally there, like very personally. So that's there. Patreon exists. It's in the links down below. Everything I use today will be linked down below as well, if you are interested, and some of those are going to be affiliate links. I also put what's on my nails in my videos. If you're ever curious, that's down there. And whenever I'm sitting over there, as you can see, whenever I have like the lights behind me and I'm sitting in front of that piece of furniture, if you're ever curious about the album that's behind me, I also have been now doing like the featured vinyl. That's also down below in case you are like someone who's interested in what kind of music I listen to. That's like a good way to clock it. Okay, that concludes the video. Thank you so much again for watching. Don't forget to follow your hote and you'll find me. I appreciate you so much for watching today's video. I will see you in Saturday's video. Okay, bye, friends.